Carson joins us now live from West Palm Beach, Florida for our weekly look at the Trump campaign.
Dr. Carson, good to see you this morning. Mr. Trump is expected to talk about immigration this week. A centerpiece of his campaign has been that wall along the U.S. border, the future of 11 million people here in the country illegally. But a lot of people are saying he's softening his stance in the last couple of weeks. Has his thinking changed, and what will he say tomorrow in that big speech in Arizona?
The thinking hasn't changed, but I think there's going to be some clarification. First of all, we definitely need a barrier. And many administrations prior to this one have talked about that, but nobody's done anything. So he's talking about putting an actual barrier there, whether it's a physical wall or a fence or a double fence, such as worked extraordinarily well in Yuma County, Arizona some years ago. That remains to be seen. The other thing that's so important is that we actually apply the immigration laws. Democrats and Republicans alike have failed to apply the laws as they seek to curry favor for voting. This is the wrong way to do things, and that's something that Mr. Trump simply does not want to do. He wants to put the American people first, wants to get rid of the sanctuary cities, wants to deport the criminal elements, apply the laws, and then see what is left over and deal with that in a fair and compassionate way. Now, that's not really a flip-flop, but that's a clarification.
All right, now Mr. Trump will make that speech in Arizona tomorrow. He'll be in Cincinnati here on Thursday to speak to the American Legion Convention this year. And what do you think is important for him to tell the veterans when he makes his presentation?
Well, I think it's veterans are concerned about a lot more than just the VA system. You know, they're concerned about America. What is happening to our nation? What is happening to our values and principles? Are we willing to give away all the things that made America into a great nation just so that we can be politically correct? And I hope that that's not the case, and that he will discuss that and the responsibility that we all have to preserve this great nation for those who are coming after us, even if it means that we have to make some sacrifices. Certainly, they made sacrifices for us. We can't, for instance, continue with this out-of-hand spending, recognizing that it's going to have a deleterious effect on the future for our children.
We only have about 15 seconds left, Dr. Carson, but I want to ask you about the latest polls. Mr. Trump is still down in many national polls. What's he got to do to catch up with Mrs. Clinton?
Well, do recognize in that mammoth poll that was just mentioned that where he's down 7 points, a week ago it was 13. So that gap is closing rather rapidly. The important thing is to stay on topic and talk about the things that the American people are concerned about, because the divisions are so different, and he can just make that point. I think the people will see.
All right, Dr. Carson, thank you so much for giving your insight into the